Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me today for day 7 of Creep on June, hosted by Tracie Fox. Can you believe that it's a week in already? And can you hear the crow? Right on cue in the background. That was lovely timing. Now we're 7 days in, and look how chunky this is already. That's ridiculous. It's going to be huge, this journal. But I love it. I love it. I love it. So if this is the first of my Creep on June videos you're watching, on day 1 I did go through what I've come up with as kind of like a theme for this Poe inspired challenge. So if you missed that video, the playlist is linked in the description, so you can pop and check those out and hear the first week lot of episodes of the story. And they're relatively short videos, so they shouldn't take you too long to catch up on. If you do enjoy these videos and you haven't already, please do like and subscribe to my channel. If you have been here before, then thank you so much, and thank you so much for returning. And if you are new to me, thank you for seeing what I am all about. Also, a few of you have said that you enjoy my storytelling, which is really kind of you. I've had such lovely comments. But I've also popped a link to my Poevember playlist that I did last year, where I recited some of Poe's poems. And that was a challenge hosted by Release the Crafting, who will also be hosting Poevember again this year. So check out my Poevember playlist if you've got a bit of spare time. And also go and check out Priscilla over at Release the Crafting. She does some awesome stuff over there. So on to day 7. Here we are. It's a double spread today because it's a big one. It's a long one. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, bottomless vales and boundless floods, and chasms and caves and Titan woods. Now the first half of that is from Alone, and the second half is from Dreamland. So Edgar awakes and he remembers what he had planned for today. He's going to read in the daylight and then head back to the forest in the evening and see what awaits him in the darkness there. He looks at the stack of books he brought with him. He picks one out called The Book of Werewolves by Sabine Baring Gold. He gets lost in the pages, his mind conjuring all sorts of pictures from all the different lore that fills the book, spanning over 1,000 years of legends, from Norse to French, delving into subjects of cannibalism and madness. The author is clearly an eccentric fellow himself, with a great passion for the supernatural and the mystical. Edgar wonders if he might get an opportunity to meet the man who has introduced him to all these visions of werewolves in his mind's eye. He spends the whole day on this one book, rereading sections and comparing across different legends and lore, deciding what his own vision of a werewolf would be, taking inspiration from the carefully chosen wording that paints such wonderful pictures. He sketches a few rough outlines that he will complete later after his nighttime journey. A knock at the door brings Edgar back to reality. He goes over and opens the door to the wonderful Alice. She has his tray with her filled with the wonderful treats he's now got very used to, and is usually the only thing he consumes in a day. Edgar takes the opportunity to ask her about the jam. The jam is so sweet and wonderfully flavoured, you'll have to tell me where you get it so I can purchase some to take home with me. For some reason, he doesn't just want to ask her right out if she makes it, just in case she doesn't. Oh, I make it myself. It's made of blackberries, raspberries and elderberries. I'm so pleased you like it. Oh, I could eat it forever, dear Alice, Edgar replies. Well, I don't think I have enough to last you forever, but I'll make sure to bring you some jars to take home with you to serve as a reminder of your visit. And then she adds, so quietly that Edgar only just makes it out, and of me. Edgar lets out a friendly chuckle and says, there's no danger of that happening, my girl. They both blush, and Alice places his tray down and dashes out of the room with a smile. Edgar tucks into his supper. The crow hasn't arrived yet, but he usually appears much later. Edgar worries that he won't be here and doesn't want to offend the great bird, so he pops a bit of crust on the outside windowsill in the hopes that no other creature takes it before the one it's meant for arrives. Suitably nourished, Edgar puts his boots on and his coat and heads out into the dusk. He walks back along the country lanes, which he hopes he remembers the way backwards, as only has come back from here that way, not gone this way. Well, never mind. I'm sure it was merely a straight line, he thinks. Eventually, he approaches the bridge and sees the vast darkness of the forest beyond. He gingerly crosses over, wishing he'd had the sense to let Alice know what his plans were in case he never comes home. Don't be a silly fool, he scolds himself. You've been reading about too many werewolves. The moon is still fairly full, though, strangely, as he's been here a week and he thought it was a full moon when he arrived. It must have been at the end of its waxing period and now in the beginning of its waning period, and maybe England is closer to the moon than his homeland, he ponders, if that's even possible. Strolling with an air of perceived confidence, still a little bit spooked, into the woods, he thinks he doesn't actually know what his plans were going to be once he got in here. He probably shouldn't go anywhere too far in case he actually might get lost. He must have gone somewhere new, though, as he approaches a fountain. What is the purpose of this here? How strange. He imagines that this leads to an old house where the werewolf lives in his human form until the full moon transforms him. Or maybe it's a cave. It would be a lot easier to hide a cave in these Titan woods than a house, that's for sure. All sorts of strange phenomena could be lurking in these woods at night. It's so dark that Edgar can barely see the ground beneath his feet. He could well accidentally fall straight into a chasm or giant pit where the werewolf lures his victims. Edgar feels invigorated by the fear that envelops him. He doesn't know how long he's been walking, but he believes it to be a few hours now, and he should probably turn around and go back the way he came. It takes him a little while to find the exit and realises he's gone round in a circle when he encounters the fountain twice on his way out. But with a decent sense of direction within him, he eventually finds his way out and crosses the bridge. As he walks down the country lane, he realises some kind of a tavern or public house must have closed for the night, as some drunkards stagger the path, nearly knocking Edgar over. They slur some sort of apology to him in an accent that isn't dissimilar to Alice's, but much less musical to the ears. He's worried about his feelings towards Alice. He doesn't want to lose another love, even if it's just to the other side of the world. So much heartache he's endured. Friendship, that's all it can be. Perhaps he will take her address and write to her when he returns. But nothing romantic. He just can't bear the thought of leaving and never having any more to do with her. Stop it, he thinks. This is not the time for frivolous thoughts of women. I am here to write. He puts his mindset back to that which he was feeling in the forest and imagines the werewolves, the pits, the chasms, and that strange fountain. He's home before he knows it, and as he lights his candles in his room, he sees the crust of bread has gone, and he opens the window to see if his crow friend is anywhere to be seen. He sees a silhouette on the gas lamp a short distance down the road and hears the familiar caw, and then the crow spreads his wings and flies off into the night. Hopefully Edgar thinks that was a thank you and he got his morsel. Edgar writes some notes and fills in some drawings, writing deep into the night. It's nearly morning by the time he finishes and he can hear the dawn chorus starting up. He puts his head down for a couple of hours. Okay, well that was a long one today, but let's have a look at what I have made to go along with the story. And apologies if you can hear someone mowing the grass outside. It's June, people mow grass. But I was quite enjoying the crows and all the different birds that were tweeting, and then they've ruined it. Right, so this is a 2-page spread because the story was kind of in 2 parts. So we've got the daytime where he was learning about the werewolves, and then he goes into the forest. So we've got some of the werewolves that he drew, and here's some more of the different werewolves that he drew, and this is some of Alone, I think that's some of Alone, I think that's some of Dreamland, might be the other way around. And we've got this tag here, it says, and it's got one of the werewolves on there. This is the book of werewolves that he was reading. And it says, there is no exquisite beauty without some strangeness in the proportion. So we've got a gentleman werewolf and then an evil looking werewolf. And then on the other side we've got the word dream and just this young werewolf looking like he's thinking, dreaming. And then we've got this werewolf on the back of this pocket, looking out into the moonlit sea. And then I've just done a thing there, and I just stuck that there just to make it blend in a bit. And that'll take for ages to get back in there, so let's just do that. And then on this page we've got the journey into the forest. So we've got a bat here, we've got, well, it looks like a bat, actually it's got a heart there pulsating because of his romantic thoughts. Got the word abyss, because that's a good word, and crypt, another good word. And all these words are Release the Crafting words. And then this pocket was supposed to be used yesterday, but I didn't have anywhere to put it, so I've used it today. And then we've just got things that he might have seen or thought that he might have seen in the woods. So we've got this little witch, and we've got ghosts, and we've got Grim Reaper, and then a little letter to the Grim Reaper, apparitions, death. And then this says, the boundaries which divine life from death are at best shadowy and vague. And that's the fountain that he's come across. And then this says, who shall say where one ends and where the other begins? It's like a whole quote, continuation. And just the number 7 here, because I've now run out of my little, those things. I only went up to number 6. So put number 7 there. And done some stenciling over some of the words in the background. Yeah, that is Dreamland. I was just recognising the word Eidolon and things from Dreamland. And then that one was Alone. So that is today's day 7 make. I'll be back again tomorrow with day 8 into the new second week of Creep on June, hosted by Tracie Fox. Everything linked in the description, playlist for my other videos for this, playlist for Povember if you're interested in that. And thank you again for all of your wonderful comments and all my new subscribers and all my returning subscribers. I appreciate you all so much. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.